Right. So I have a little bit of a problem. I don't tend to like new things, new shoes, new clothes, new anything. If what I have is working, I don't tend to like to replace it. I'm just kind of weird like that. The new shoes won't be broken in, they're not comfortable, they kind of take a while for you to adjust to. Or, something as simple as a new chair maybe isn't as comfortable as you're used to or just doesn't sit the same way. Well, my chair was in dire need of replacement. It was one of those pleather guys. It was peeling, it was falling apart. It was actually starting to kind of lean to one side because the base was getting loose, like the actual part where the extendable rod goes into. So not the nuts. Nothing could be tightened. Like it was done. Like I had put a cover on it. I had an ass cushion on it because it was so flattened out. It was in dire need of a replacement, and so I did. I got this. The problem with this that you won't see right now is that this particular chair had a lumbar support. And I don't know about you, but I don't particularly love lumbar support. This chair wasn't cheap, but it wasn't expensive. It's a Sihu, sure. I got off of Amazon. It was cheaper than the Amazon Basics chair. Like, the Amazon Basics, I think it was like $80. It was a low back chair, and I kind of wanted something a bit of a higher back like this. But I didn't want to pay like $300-400 either. I found this, I think it was like 150, 160, but there was some $30 off coupon. So, I mean, you know, I'm just going to call it a $130 chair because that's what I paid for it. But, by default, it came with this lovely little lumbar support. And I've already taken it off, but I will cut to a video at some point showing how I remove this. Right. It also came with this headrest that I almost immediately regretted putting in. It doesn't really line up with what I'm used to, or it didn't rest where I wanted it to be. I'm not I'm not used to having a headrest, and I didn't like it. What really sucks is once you put it in, it's very hard to get back out. It has a little ball joint that seems to spring back into place to hit these little D10s. And in fact, I'll do it now. If you put it in normally, it's a bit stiff to even get in there, right? But then if you try to adjust it above a certain level, I mean, you can keep yanking. It's not going to come out.
Dude, seriously?
So first trick, if you've bought one of these chairs, because they're okay chairs, I think for the price they're fine. If you've bought one of these, don't freak out. You can definitely still get this headrest out. You don't have to like break out the saw or something. So I found that if you put it all the way down, and we'll see if this works in one take. If not, you'll see the outtakes. But you just have to kind of pull all in one go very quickly to kind of overcome that ball joint. Yeah. All right. So with the headrest removed, I still had one glaring issue: the lumbar support, which was previously right there. I don't love how this thing is difficult to remove. It's not really the same mechanism, so you can't just yank it out no matter how quickly or hard you try to do that. But initially, and I'll go ahead and reassemble this now and then cut back to once it is assembled, so we can talk about how to remove it. I didn't bother filming this. It was late last night, and I was literally just researching online if anyone else had done this, and thankfully somebody had. It was like some Chinese TikTok live stream, like it was literally in Chinese, but someone had footage of how to actually replace this, and I thought, oh man, that's so simple. Like, why don't I do that? And then, when you have a brilliant idea, you think, yeah, I'm gonna go do that. All right, don't mind me as I just go and undo all the work I just did to get this off in the first place. We gently. There you go. So that's how the chair looks after it's assembled. This is all in one piece with the back. The lumbar support's already attached. So this is how it came, minus the scuffing. But as you can see, that lumbar support, it's right there against your lumbar. And I can't tell you how incredibly uncomfortable it was. So this is how it came, and now we'll go ahead and just do it in reverse. Since I did very nicely just gently set this in here, easy enough to take back off, but you will have to really work at it. Like I said, please do be careful if you care about reassembling this just without this piece, and you want that chrome back on there. It's very easy to scuff up. You might want something a bit thinner to shim in there than like a flathead. But once you have that off, it's really easy. You're just going to take your Phillips. It's about a medium to large Phillips, I would say. And you can see the screw right through there. You're going to have to hold this piece so that way when you're turning this, the initially how tight it is will actually cause this whole thing to turn. So you want to hold this in place as you turn to remove the screw. Obviously, I didn't put this in very tight, so easy enough, but it is a bit of work the first time for sure. And then this is the tricky part because you don't want to like destroy your mesh. I mean, it's probably better to do this as soon as possible so there's less wear and tear already on the mesh. But again, kind of in reverse of what I did just to reassemble this to show you, I think it's pretty much just pushing this and then you kind of push from the bottom. You're not going to get it out enough to really clear that socket there. And so you're going to have to start rotating it as soon as it kind of lets you. And then once you have that, you can slide it up, rotate it, comes out just fine. And like I said, you can clearly see there's still like what the chance that, oh, what if that's not how you sit down? You sit here, your back hits here. I haven't had this issue yet. I'm sure it's possible, but like I said, there's plenty of clearance here. If you wanted to stuff a thin pillow or a folded up blanket there, you certainly could. It would provide a little bit more support. Maybe it would allow this mesh to last longer. There probably is a way to remove this entirely. I really don't know how that is yet. Not for lack of trying. I was kind of looking around to see how that might be, but I think there's not a good non-destructive way to do it. What I was potentially considering is bringing this up as far as it can go, cutting this off, and then just using a screwdriver or something to jam the remaining shaft back in there, because I never plan on putting this back on. If you do, or if you want the option, certainly leave it behind. And for now, for convenience, I'm going to do the same. But yeah, that's the new chair, minus the lumbar support, minus the headrest. I find it quite nice. It definitely works for me. So hopefully if you get this kind of chair, you try this out if the lumbar support is really bothering you. It literally went from unbearable to bearable. Like that's the difference to me. But again, the caveat that I'm a bit of a tweaker. You know, new chair, already wasn't going to like it. So the fact that it was different at all, yeah, wasn't going to be a fan either way. But really, really tried to give it a chance. Didn't like it. Actually started bothering my back. So yeah, I took it off and I'm pretty happy with this chair now. I think, you know, for what it is, for what it costs, pretty good. All right. Bye.